Hello guys, I'm Ola Ajibola, and I just created what might be one of the best Visual Studio extensions. Well, this extension is mainly for web developers. For a static web page project I worked on in school, I had to write a bunch of HTML and CSS. Now, traditionally, when you write HTML and CSS, is this rain not interfering with sound? For a static web page project I worked on in school, I had to write a bunch of HTML and CSS. Now, traditionally, when we write HTML and CSS like that, to style them, we have to have included our IDs and classes in the HTML. So, what you have to do to get those classes and IDs from your HTML to your CSS is you copy and paste those unique classes, and then you copy those IDs to your HTML so you can select them and style them properly. Well, as I think this is what everybody does actually, and that is a complete waste of time because of you're going to be doing that for every single one. So imagine you have thousands of lines of HTML. You will have to actually copy and paste every single class and every single ID into your HTML. Well, I created an extension that solves just that problem. With the click of just one button on VS Code, you can select any HTML file at all and to write out all the classes and IDs selected for you on your CSS, including CSS resets.
To let us know how this works, here I have an HTML file that I worked on. Here you can see the classes, test, div, and translate. And all these classes, some of them repeated multiple times. But I had this entire HTML file to work on. So if you go to our CSS file, my cool CSS, just click on generate selectors to ask for the HTML file first that we want to get our selectors from. Click on generate selectors and boom, we have all that, including CSS resets. You see that we have IDs in one section and classes in another, and there is no repetition of classes, and it does this very nicely without
I
any
want to
waste of
like
time
And
whatsoever.
just like that, you have all classes and IDs from any HTML file selected, including CSS resets, so you don't have to do all that extra work. Plus, if you've written CSS already and you don't want to overwrite all things that you've done, and you have new IDs and classes in your HTML file, probably you added new HTML stuff. Also, if you have multiple HTML files and you want to write one CSS for all those HTML files, and all these different HTML files, of course, have different class names and different IDs, you can actually select every one of them and generate class and IDs for all of them on your CSS file. So any class or ID that is not currently present in the CSS file would not be added. So you only have things that are not there. Plus, the extension works in such a way that if you have multiple classes, for example, it would not write those classes multiple times. Just select one. So it is a smart extension. In just 2 weeks from its first release, we already have about 300 downloads.